Well, the Village Atlas project really is about trying to encourage local people to look at their own backyard. So obviously we've got the history there, and people can maybe remember sort of 30, 50, perhaps even 70 years ago.
You couldn't see it on the front street, could you, for people? Everybody was out swearing, and it was a big deal.
Everything would be different completely. For a start off, the front street has hardly any shops compared to when we were. It was a very busy village.
And you just played around. It could be 10 o'clock at night, but you were just out playing because your mothers were there watching you.
Women stood at the gate and talked to each other. There was always something going on in the village, wasn't there?
Because we're a landscape project, we're very keen to get involved in the wildlife and the nature and the underlying rocks that are around. So nearby here we've got Wingate Quarry, for instance, which was a quarry that was in the sort of early part of the 20th century. And today, if you go and visit, particularly around the middle part of the year, June, July, you see a wonderful, diverse range of flowers and the associated fauna. For instance, we've got the marbled white butterfly there, which is actually quite unique for the area.
I think one of the things that people gain from taking part in a project like this is that they begin to take pride in their community and their landscape, and things that they haven't noticed before particularly start to make sense to them, and they start to take pride in them. For example, humps and bumps in fields, which they've noticed perhaps in the past or barely noticed, they think that if they're made aware of them and think, oh, these are signs of old farming, these are rig and furrow, caused by horses ploughing the land sort of 400 years ago, then that's a source of pride and interest.
The landscape behind me, you can see lots of lumps and bumps, and those are covering the remains of the old abandoned medieval settlement of Thornley-hole, or what is also called Thornley in a lot of original documents. The lumps and bumps are really covering what would have been the original foundations and walls of a medieval village. So that includes the crofts and tofts that would have made up the village, so that's basically the gardens, and then the stepstones into the houses.
Right, what we're looking at here is a chimney, which is the wall is actually 8 foot thick at this point. And you can see the series of steps going up the chimney. If the history isn't recorded, if it isn't passed on, people have no knowledge of the backgrounds. The children today in the village, I don't suppose they know an awful lot about the pits, the colliery that was in the village. That was part of our childhood. So I think it's very important that they're aware, of how life has changed.
We've been working on this for about 2 years. It's now come to a point where the delivery stage is very exciting, and to sort of see local people getting involved, looking at their own backyard, looking at their history, looking at the records and archives and maps. It's fantastic, and I'm really excited that local people, because it's where they live, they care about where they live, they want to know more about where they live. It's a fantastic opportunity for the communities, schools and groups to get involved.